Joining us now with the latest on the Trump transition, Mike Allen, Axios co-founder. It's always our favorite game on Squawk Box. Where is Mike today? You were at an airport last week, then you had palm trees. Now I'm trying to figure out, it's like, what state are you in? We see some trees behind. So first of all, where are you, Mike?
Somewhere warm.
Robert, you are so good. So I'm coming to you live from chilly Raleigh, North Carolina, where my brother Scott and his wife Sherry were kind of host me, feed me yesterday on Thanksgiving. So excited to be with.
It's also where most, if not all, of the Christmas trees that we get here in the Northeast come from. So that's an appropriate spot, Mike. So let's talk a little bit about this tariff war, because we all remember in 2019 there was a similar reference, and everyone's referencing this, where there was a lot of migrants coming across the border. Trump said we're going to impose tariffs on Mexico. They reached an agreement where Mexico said, look, we will hold them here instead of letting them cross the border. And so the tariff disappeared at that point. People said, well, that's what's going to happen again. Which Trump are we going to get with regard to tariffs this time around? Are we going to get the Trump that basically there was a lot of sound and fury, and then a negotiation which really didn't result in much change but gave him at least the ability to say there was change? Or are we really going to get tariffs?
So those two Trumps are not mutually exclusive. So with Trump, everything is negotiation. I took his Truth Social post as the beginning of a negotiation. But taking your viewers behind the scenes of the transition, I've just came up here from Palm Beach, and the transition is definitely feeling aggressive, vindicated, validated. And so these are not bluffs. These are real. And I think another place that we're going to see that is with tech. At the top of the show, you touched on one of the biggest stories in the transition and one of the biggest stories in business, and that is these tech CEOs, these tech moguls getting savvier about interacting with the government in waiting. So Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday night, you saw Mark Zuckerberg, Meta CEO, having Thanksgiving Eve dinner with President-elect Trump. And I have a little Squawk scoop for you. At that dinner, Mark Zuckerberg showed the president-elect the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, and they were a big hit around the table. He met with the senior staff. Earlier, the Commerce Secretary designate Howard Lutnick stopped by the dinner. So, Robert, I think you're going to see a lot more of that in the weeks ahead. Business, every sector making the pilgrimage to Palm Beach, interacting with this coming government.
But is the signal to business here that their future, and therefore the future of their shareholders, depends on their personal relationship with Donald Trump?
'Twas ever thus, right? Like you have covered it yourself. Vital with this president, and I'm told that he is just drinking in the communications that are coming in from every sector. And the way that one person said it to me is like, this is a very different Donald Trump than when he won in a surprise in 2016. The way one top transition insider said it to me is he feels like he has this under control. And the way they said it is a lot of people in business are acting like he's already the president. So you saw Scott Bessent, the winner of the knife fight for Treasury. That has been one of the best received of all of the president-elect's nomination announcements. Definitely well received on Wall Street. And so that's buying him some goodwill with business, which was worried, skeptical, but knows Washington's open for business, lots of business inputs to this government, and they expect an extremely business-friendly agenda coming out.
Hey, Mike, it's not the only place. Business isn't the only place that's almost treating him like the president. We're just reporting on the president of Mexico and the interactions back and forth. You can say the same with Trudeau, the prime minister in Canada. I mean, there are negotiations that are taking place on tariffs and policy to come before he's ever taken the oath of office. It feels a little unusual. Obviously, there's a lame duck president right now. But I think probably because of his experience in the past, because he's coming in, you never see a president who takes 4 years off, or at least in our lifetime, and then comes back and is ready to go. He's coming in with plans that I've never seen in my lifetime. and the ability to kind of move and act on those things.
No, that's a very smart insight. And you have the combination of what you're pointing to there, that he knows how to work government. He feels confident about his choices. The way that it's been said to me by a transition insider is these are people who get him, who understand him. Like last time, there were a lot of people who either didn't understand the vision or didn't buy into the vision. This time it's all Trump. And so you combine that with he knows what he wants to do. He plans to act aggressively. He has Elon Musk sitting there literally next to him, urging him to go big. And you have these personnel in place to make it possible. Add to that the point that we made earlier about how personal relationships are so vital with Trump. And so
I'm sorry, Mike, I just need to interrupt on this question, which is, it seemed like it had been tradition, and for perhaps a reason, not to be running a parallel foreign policy in the United States. Is there a danger?
We had the congressman who's been nominated as NSA last week, and he said he's actually been speaking with Jake Sullivan. They've been coordinating.
They've been coordinating. I mean, I guess that's my question. Yeah. If they're coordinating, that's fine. But is there a danger of running a foreign policy while there's still, 2 months left of the current administration?
Spoiler, this president-elect does not do anything traditionally. So you make a great point. It's absolutely true. So what your viewers can watch for that continues with this aggressive government waiting, as you all rightly point out, going ahead of what we're used to with a presidential transition. Now we're going to start with the tier 2, tier 3 appointments. And a lot of them steer a lot of government money. I can tell you there's a lot of people in business that I talk to. They're more concerned about who's going to be the deputy, who's going to be in charge of acquisition than they are at the very top. One big job, another scoop for your Squawk viewers, another big job that we're still waiting for is we expect President-elect Trump to name a new FBI director. And for a top FBI or DOJ job, we're told that he still plans to appoint his ultra-loyalist Kash Patel. I would say the deputy FBI director is probably most likely. Not done, but in the pole position for FBI director. The top job is the Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. And we're told that if Kash Patel doesn't get that 1 or 2 at the FBI, that he's likely to get some other appointed investigative role within DOJ.